We're almost wrapping up the Global Landscape Forum here in Nairobi, Kenya. And I'm here with Anthony Ochieng, who's a photographer and a wildlife conservationist. And he just gave a marvelous landscape talk in one of our sessions. So I'll let him tell us a bit more about his work.
Basically, my work is actually to use photography to link science and the community or the common public. So I use photography to actually influence behavior change. And when I use photography, it stems from showcasing how the landscape is at the particular moment, what actions are being done on that particular landscape, what other activities are being done, and how best and what is the future of that particular landscape. So we come up with pictures to showcase what type of landscape we actually want. Yeah.
Do you have an organization or are you working on your own?
Currently, I'm on my own, but I'm trying to, as much as possible, to affiliate myself with organizations that are working on restoring landscapes and also doing wildlife conservation in the process. So in the process, as I work with them, I give them a service that is photography and videography. And in the process, I'm able to actually go to the schools where they work and give more in-depth on conservation issues and landscape issues, more of a community social responsibility on my end. So I'm actually doing this not for the money, but I'm doing it for the main passion and the main purpose is to change human behavior, human negative behavior towards the environment.
And where do you mainly work?
Currently, I'm running across different ecosystems, like Ipia, back at my home place, Rusinga Island, and then some areas in Nairobi. But I feel sometimes my work is online because I work my work is online, and most of the people I interact with online when I do my pictures and tell stories that they can easily relate with, see the passion that I have about what I do. And when they see particular issues happening on a particular landscape, they come forth and actually explain to me and tell me, do you know what, I actually saw this particular issue on this particular area. For instance, in one scenario, I took a picture of how people are disposing waste in one village up on your way to Juja. Juja is a town along Thika Road in Nairobi. And when I took that picture, I shared it out. And everybody was like, yes, these things are not supposed to be done like this. People need to litter. And every person I interact with, they say, yes, the pictures are good, but I go to a further extent and explain the pictures just meant to intrigue your perception of looking at things, but you can use them to actually take action at the end of the day. Yeah.
And you explained to me earlier you were first kind of a wildlife conservationist. How did you come up with the idea of using photography?
So during my work as mostly wildlife conservation is mainly monitoring and evaluation, I realized there was a gap between the information we get as organizations working in the landscape or in wildlife conservation and the public, and mostly it's about how we communicate our work to the public. And I felt we are not reaching a wider range. We are tied up in a small circle, whereby it's the target community group, us who are implementing the project, and the donors. But there's other people who are living in that particular landscape who will not necessarily be part of that particular target group. But then how do you reach them? And that is when I felt that I need to let people know what's actually happening, what we do, and why exactly we do it. And I felt photography is one of the best tools I can actually use because I'm obsessed with photography. And I felt this is one of the best ways to use to actually impact more knowledge and awareness on what people should do to conserve a particular landscape.
And what is the impact you're noticing on people? How are they reacting?
For instance, I know this is a landscape restoration forum, but being the year of birds, 2018, I started using bird pictures and telling stories about birds on social media. And everybody that I meet will tell me, I saw a bird with this particular color, what's the name? And these are people who are not in the bird or photography or bird or ornithology field, there are people who do other types of business. They're either in law or they're either doctors, and they're able to interact with me and tell me, okay, that particular bird, how did you actually take the picture? So that particular engagement makes me build more content towards telling them more about, it's not just about the bird, it's about the environment at which that particular bird is found and what exactly you should need to do in conserving that particular ecosystem as a whole. Yeah.
So what would be the next step in your work with regard to photography?
So my next step is actually to try as much as possible and upscale. In this sense, work with as many landscape restoring organizations, help them document their work. Having a strong background in monitoring and evaluation, I'm able to actually look at how best we can actually document their work and then share them not only to the donor world or the target groups, but also the general public that are not necessarily within that particular project, because that particular space that we are not tapping in as conservation is actually a donor source, because they can be able to say, I love what this particular project does in my particular small community, even though I'm not involved. And when I saw the pictures, I felt I need to actually make an effort. And then crowdfunding can easily be able to support those particular funding. So we need to reach more people using social media through photography, videography, and any other creative means as much as possible. Yeah.
And I know you've also been part of the youth workshop we've had here at the GLF just a few days earlier. So what have you learned there that you think might help you in your plans with your work?
The youth workshop was one amazing forum for me. Having come out of being employed and trying to make an enterprise out of doing what I believe in, environmental education, having speakers talk about the experiences from all corners of the world, I picked two or three things that will actually help me build the movement that I'm trying to do in promoting landscape restoration through photography. Issues such as how well you brand your innovation, who exactly to work with, what partners to work with, how to actually use indigenous knowledge in that particular context to be able to actually impact not only the community work with, but also policy in the process. Yeah. So the youth landscape was, for me, it was an eye-opener and an encouragement to continue pushing on what I'm actually believing on. That I'm not just alone who's believing on. Other people are doing other interesting issues around. I'm just doing one specific one, which is photography, but others are doing different issues and they face almost the similar challenges. So for me, I'm coming out more stronger than how I came in. Like, I really want to make this my thing to live with, or something to be remembered with, that he only did photography for the purpose of creating awareness in the world. Yes.
That's great. That's
Yes.
great news. Thank you so much, Anthony.
Thank you.
It's been great to have you here, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your night.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you.